What's up, Taiwan? I'm Erika Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. China's President Xi Jinping said he was ready to have a candid and in-depth exchange of views with U.S. President Joe Biden at their meeting on Monday. The leaders of the world's two largest economies were meeting ahead of the G20 summit in Bali, Indonesia, with the issue of Taiwan expected to be high on the agenda. Biden said beforehand that he wanted to establish red lines to prevent conflict breaking out between Washington and Beijing. The two-day G20 summit will see officials from the world's 20 largest economies meet to address major issues. These include climate change, the risk of global recession, North Korea's nuclear threats, and the ongoing war in Ukraine. The head of manufacturing giant Foxconn has become the first Taiwanese person to address the B20 Business Forum held this year in Bali, Indonesia. The B20 brings together business leaders from around the world as part of the G20 meeting of leading economies. It was first held in Seoul in 2010. Foxconn CEO and Chair Young Liu on Monday spoke to the forum about economic and environmental transformation.
As we work towards establishing a cleaner and a greener society, we also have a tremendous opportunity to transform into a smarter society. The definition of thriving in modern society consists of working towards three main goals: cleaner, greener, and smarter.
Taiwan's President Tsai met with representatives of the Center for American Progress on Monday in Taipei. The U.S.-based think tank's chair, former Senator Tom Daschle, is currently leading a delegation to Taiwan. He said Taiwan and the U.S. face many challenges related to elections in both countries this month. He said now is a pivotal time for democracies worldwide. Tsai thanked Daschle for his longtime support for Taiwan. She said Taiwan will continue working to safeguard its democratic values.
台湾位处于威权主义扩张的最前线，我们会持续强化自我防卫能力，也会致力维护区域的稳定和平。
The president of the Pacific island nation of Nauru has arrived in Taiwan for a 6-day visit. Russ Joseph Kuhn is leading a delegation of cabinet ministers and other officials. He is scheduled to meet with President Tsai Ing-wen and discuss bilateral cooperation projects. Nauru is one of Taiwan's 14 official diplomatic allies. The two countries re-established relations in 2005 after a 3-year break in ties. Chinese warplanes fly into Taiwan's air defense zone on a nearly daily basis. The flights are part of what some analysts call gray zone warfare, designed to place constant pressure on Taiwan. But it's not just planes. Beijing is also sailing warships near Taiwan's seas. Stash Butler has the story.
Two Navy destroyers face off in the Taiwan Strait. From China, the Xiamen. From Taiwan, the Ma Gong.
这是马公舰，你即将进入24海里警戒区，请你适时调整航向，以维航行安全。
马公舰，这里是厦门，你所谓的24海里线不存在，请注意你的用语。我舰在此正常航行。
The video of the two ships' exchange on Thursday has shed light on what some experts describe as grey zone tactics. This is where military units attempt to use non-combat means to wear down a counterpart's defensive forces. More and more often, Beijing is sending warplanes into Taiwan's air defense zone, forcing Taipei to respond. Those flights have caught the world's attention, but China's ships, too, are pushing near to Taiwan. Following international law, Taiwan has defined internal waters and territorial seas. The 12 nautical miles beyond that is its contiguous zone. By law, China's ships can enter the zone for what's known as innocent passage. But China sees Taiwan as part of its territory, so in its view, none of those zones exist. And military analyst Su Ziyun says the voyages by Chinese ships are designed to turn up the pressure on Taiwan.
中共它企图建立所谓新常态，除了台海中线的模糊化之外，对中华民国领海法所规定的这个临界区或者避联区，它也刻意的予忽略。
China's aerial incursions may grab the headlines, but as Su says, another separate grey zone struggle is playing out around Taiwan's seas. and neither is likely to end anytime soon. That's Naya Zhou and Stash Butler for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan on Monday reduced mandatory quarantine for COVID patients from 7 days to 5. Anyone who tests negative after those 5 days can resume their normal lives. Otherwise, they'll need to continue with self-health management, limiting their attendance at events with lots of people. Taiwan's Pandemic Response Task Force on Monday also axed a rule that required workers in 24 high-risk fields to be triple vaccinated. These latest changes come as Taiwan continues to strip back some of the strictest pandemic measures in the world. In the southern city of Kaohsiung, all 4 mayoral candidates are promising to improve the air quality, something residents have demanded for years. But as Taiwan's local elections approach, the issue has attracted both policy proposals and political wrangling. John Van Trieste reports.
Another hazy day in the southern city of Kaohsiung. With more than 2.5 million locals, Kaohsiung is Taiwan's 3rd most populous city. It's also a hub for oil refining, steelmaking, power generation, and much else that fuels the country's industrial sector. This output makes for poor air quality throughout the year, but weather patterns and local terrain mean October to March is when the air is at its worst. Air pollution in Kaohsiung has been causing problems for years. Just this weekend, city officials told factories to cut emissions after residents were advised to limit outdoor activities. With local elections looming, pollution has become a major political issue. All 4 mayoral candidates have pledged to improve air quality. Incumbent Chen Ximai says he's focused on making existing power plants more environmentally friendly.
7连工程厂在2025年，我们希望说全部能够脱煤，那新达电厂在2025年呢，也能够这个提早除役。
But Chen's main rival has questioned his track record on pollution.
台中有一个生煤的自治条例，但是很抱歉，它在2020年的3月的时候就被行政院给废止。那时候呢，我们的陈市长是副院长。
Taiwan's local elections will take place on November the 26th. For 8 years, environmental groups have taken to the streets of Kaohsiung demanding cleaner air. They hope by placing emphasis on the issue just days before local elections, it will ensure officials tackle the city's air pollution problem for good. Andy Xue and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan didn't qualify for this year's FIFA World Cup, but when the world's top players take to pitch in Qatar next week, many will be wearing kit made by Taiwanese companies. John Van Trieste has this report.
You won't see a Taiwanese team at this year's World Cup, but Taiwan will be on the pitch just the same. Team kits may carry the logos of big sports brands like Nike or Adidas, but there's a good chance the fabric used to make them came from a Taiwan-owned factory. And they'll be seen by billions of people around the world. Yet manufacturers say this alone won't get them out of a current slump brought on by the pandemic.
那现在整个纺织业的这个看法啦，可能要到明年第1季或第2季才会复苏。所以简单讲，世足赛其实对我们的这个公司的影响，目前其实看不太到。
But there are big opportunities. The market for World Cup merchandise is worth an estimated $300 billion. And there are some optimistic voices in the industry too.
那今年是第一次的把这个海洋回收纱线用在世界杯的主要的这些国家的球衣。那总共有9个国家。那今年因为整个球衣的销售到目前为止，其实很多国家的销售状况都很好。
Of these, Germany, Japan, Spain, Mexico, Argentina, Belgium, and Wales will be vying on the pitch in Qatar. No matter which country you support, there's Taiwanese know-how behind them. Klein Wang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of the world's top breakdancers competing in New York, where the style was invented. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.